Good evening and welcome to another mantra moment. However, this mantra moment's a bit of a grumpy mantra moment. So I'll just get straight into it, shall I? Today I tried to buy a little bit of crypto. Not much because, money's not abundant at the moment. But I had previously bought some crypto from this same place before and my bank put a 24-hour wait on it, which, fine. And then it went through. However, today they decided that they weren't going to let it go through. So anyway, to cut a long story short, I ended up down at the bank. Now this is just, I'm only saying this because of what's happening and with the digital ID coming in and all this sort of stuff and how they're restricting and controlling, really. Anyway, cut a long story short, they had to call head office or wherever it is, and they eventually got me on the phone and started asking me all these questions, including my Facebook, my WhatsApp, what groups I'm in, etc., etc. And of course I'm like, I'm not going to give them all that information. I'm just like, I'm in heaps groups. In fact, I had to actually delete my WhatsApp the other day because it was too full. So, lots of groups. And then they wanted to know if I was in any crypto groups. And I said, oh yeah, but I never get on them because I just haven't got the time. There's too much stuff to look at. So, oh yeah, no worries. They said, well, how'd you find out about this crypto? Was it online or was it on Facebook or was it on WhatsApp or whatever? I said, no, just through a friend. Oh, what's your friend's name? I said, well, I'm not going to tell you what my friend's name is. Yeah, what's your friend's name? I said, well, I'm not telling you that. That's private information. Well, are they involved with this crypto? I said, I'm not going to tell you that either. That's their private financial information. And, fair enough, they said. So they continued with all these questions that were just none of their business, to be honest. And then they went back to ask me about my friend. And I said, look, I am not telling you. That is private information. And I'm not telling you about her finances. That is private information. She simply showed me what to do on the computer because I don't know how to do it. So that was okay, supposedly okay. And they just kept asking questions after questions. Where am I going to go? What am I going to buy? All this stuff. And then he goes, all right, I'll be back in a minute. I go, okay, no worries. And I'm fuming at this stage because I was fuming from the word go, to be honest. So he comes back after quite some time and says, oh, well, you won't tell us who your friend is and you won't give us that information. So you're restricted. Your restriction stays for 2 more days. I said, I beg your pardon? They said, yeah, it stays for 2 more days and then you ring us back. I said, hang on a minute here. Are you telling me because I won't disclose someone else's private information to you that you're going to restrict my account for another 2 days until I come back and go through all this again? And they said, yes. And then they said, and we advise you not to speak to her again, to your friend. I said, what? We're keeping you safe. They use the safe narrative. And we're, fans saying that to us. I'm like, I'm 58 years old. I can keep myself safe. I've done that so far for 58 years. I'm fine, thank you. And I can't believe that. Are you telling me that you are going to restrict my account because I won't give you someone else's private information? And I speak to her, who's a good friend of mine and has been for years. And they said yes. So I've got to come back in 2 days and go through all this again. And they said, yes. I said, well, hang on a minute. Just hang on a minute. I'll solve this right now. I said, all right, I'll tell you what you want to know. I'll tell you what you want to hear. I'll never speak to my friend again. Okay? I won't speak to my friend. And I won't buy any crypto. Okay? How's that for you? All good now? Can I have my money? They said no. I'm fuming that I kept respectful. And then we went through a little bit more and I just said, you know what this sounds like to me? I said, this sounds like communism. And he said, oh, can you put the other lady on the phone? Didn't want to go any further. So anyway, as it is, they gave me some way I can get money out. I can draw it out, but I can't. None of my, I can't transfer my rent. Money that's coming out can't come out. So bills, etc., for 2 days until I come back and tell them what they want to know. Which, of course, is going to be a no. So anyway, I just thought it was very interesting to see where they've got to now, where my bank, with my money, who services me, can tell me who I can speak to, can tell me not to speak to a friend that I've known for years, that has nothing really to do with anything, just help me out. Oh, and they advised me to go and talk to family and friends. Not that friend, though. Go and talk to family and friends. Like, I'm freaking... They advised me to go and speak to family and friends because I'm not safe. And I don't know how to keep myself safe. So that's Mantra's moment for today. Okay, have a great evening. Love you all. Bye.